It's a one-liner, but a very important concept. And we'll just throw it up on the screen here. So the last part of this Mishnah actually is to remind us what happened before, because there is some connection in according to many, and that is that we talked about tefillah. Rav Shimon had said that a person should be careful and make sure you concentrate properly with when you say Shema, do it at the right time, etc., and Shemona Esrei, and then not to have a set prayers. Don't get into the routine, but have it where you really are feeling it, you're understanding what you're saying, you're thinking about it, and make it novel. And then we have the last part, which sounds like it's not connected. Ve'al tihi rasha b'fnei atzmecha, or some say atzmecha. Don't be a wicked person in front of yourself. Or here he says, do not consider yourself a wicked person. Now, seems to be an independent idea. Either way, it's a very important concept because we're familiar, of course, with the importance of self-esteem, right? And when you see yourself in a negative light, you see yourself as being a bad person. So there are a lot of negative consequences that could come as a result of it, and likely do. So we'll start with the Rambam. Rambam points out that if a person sees himself that he's not good enough, so then once I'm not good enough already, so it really doesn't make a difference what I do. I mean, like, so I can do all kinds of negative things, bad things, and who cares? I'm a bad guy anyway, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And we know that in education, right? Not necessarily even looking at yourself as bad, but looking at yourself as maybe not capable of doing certain things. So if you think you're not capable, so then you become not capable, and that's why it's important in both in parenting and education and even workers to build them up and to give them confidence that they are capable of doing it. Another angle on this brought down by Rashi and Rav Bartanura are when you do certain actions, right? So don't do something that later you're going to look back and say, "Oh, that was a terrible thing," or the thing will evolve into something negative. At the moment, maybe you didn't realize how bad it is, but it's going to become something that's going to be bad, and you'll look back and say, "Oh, why did I do that?" Whatever it was. Or right now, you think it's fun, but it really isn't a good thing to do. Um, and then when you get serious, you realize, oh my gosh, I hurt somebody or I did something that I shouldn't have done. Um, and another interesting angle, which the Rav Bartanur adds, and that is that when it says, don't be a rasha b'fnei atzmacha, before yourself, it could be as in by being by yourself, as in don't separate yourself from the community. Don't stand by yourself. Don't just, think you're, oh, I don't need anybody or I'm not going to connect with anybody, because that also is a negative character trait. Another important thing, again, back to the self-esteem idea, is the way Rabbeinu Yonah looks at it as, don't view yourself as someone who you can't ever fix yourself. You can't do tshuva, because if you have that mindset, so you'll say, oh, forget it. I can never change. I can never improve. And it says, again, it's not necessarily so much in the incapable of doing certain things, but it's that there's no point in it. Like I'm so far gone, God looks at me like I'm so terrible. So if I'm so terrible, I can't fix myself. And then in such a situation, again, the opportunity to do something wrong is going to come along and say, yeah, listen, what's the big deal? Compared to the other things I've done, this is nothing, right? Or, this is an attitude that some people have. And interestingly, he says also, on the flip side, we have an idea not to see yourself like you're such a tzaddik either. You don't look. It's one thing to say I'm not negative. On the other hand, don't make yourself as in you're the best guy in the world either. And the quotes a Gemara that the Gemara says that if everyone in the world says to you you're a righteous person, you should. It actually literally says consider yourself wicked. But it doesn't mean you should really consider yourself wicked. What it means is says that that don't view yourself as being so good. Don't look at yourself as being terrible either. Look at yourself as in the middle. Person should always view yourself as in the middle. And in that way, whatever you always look at whatever I do, this is going to be the tipping point. If I'm right in the middle, right? So if I do something good, now I'm on the good side. If I do something wrong, I'm on the bad side. And that way, every action that you do, you'll view it as being a tipping point. And And then that manner it's a good mindset to be in, so that you'll value and feel the importance of everything that you do. Um, Interesting, Rabbi Tversky, so the psychological angle, he points out as in terms of when we feel badly about things that we've done, there's a difference between guilt and shame, right? So guilt is I feel like I feel I did the wrong thing. And so he explains it as follows. He says that guilt is an awareness that you did something wrong. So I know I did something wrong. So therefore, if I did something wrong, I could fix myself, right? It is possible. But if I have a sense of shame, so a sense of shame is not a thing of just that I did something wrong. It's that I am bad. When you have a feel, you are feeling inherently bad. Right, we always say we look at the sin, not the sinner, right? We don't want to say the person is bad. The thing that you did is bad, or doesn't have to be sinning. Even when again we talk about kids, talking about other people, you want to correct them. Don't make them feel like they are bad. You let them feel that they're good, but the action they did is bad. So that's the idea of guilt. But shame is you are feeling you are bad. And he says, therefore, he really says, guilt is I made a mistake. Shame is I am a mistake. And that's not easily correctable. And because you can't really identify this. If I'm no good, okay, where's the thing I'm going to fix? And that's not the mindset to have. The mindset to have is to be able to say, I did something wrong and I can fix that thing, but I am inherently a good person. The Tiferes Yisrael, he brings it back to be able to connect to the earlier part of the Mishnah, which is to do with prayer. And he says that a person who, again, if a person feels like they're a Russia, they feel that they're wicked, so then they're giving up on Hashem. They're saying like, Hashem's never gonna care about me. So then your tefillos aren't gonna help either. Like, what's the point of praying because God doesn't care about me? He's not gonna listen to me anyway. And that is he said when talking specifically in this Mishnah about the idea of don't consider yourself a Russia. It's in relationship to the idea of prayer, that don't look at yourself as your prayers are never going to help. No, your prayers still it's important, and God is listening, and it will have an effect. Um, and interesting along the ideas of the connection to prayer, the Sfas Emes says that if you daven with a minyan, right? So there's a difference between davening with a minyan. When a person davens on their own, so you're on your own basically. It's you and God. When you're with a congregation, so you have everybody else together with you, and you're not on your own anymore. So when Hashem is listening to your prayers, He's listening to you within a larger group, and therefore you can sort of piggyback on the prayers of everyone else, on the merits of everyone else, and Hashem will be more likely to respond to you, even if you are someone who might not have deserved it. And so therefore, then don't view it by yourself. The idea again, but be by yourself. Do it with a congregation, and in that way, you will be able to merit from them. And then one other angle that is brought is don't be a Russia by yourself, meaning, when you are alone, don't have your behavior be different than when you're with other people, right? Sometimes, in front of other people, you can act a certain way, but when no one's looking, I'm going to do other things. So he said, don't be a Russia by yourself, as in don't act in a manner which is wrong when nobody else is looking. That even it doesn't make a difference whether people are not there or they are not there. You have to do the right thing, and therefore don't be a Russia even under those circumstances. And for one final angle on this is that don't be a Russia by yourself, as in don't think that your actions only affect yourself. They have effect on other people. Everything that we do, even if we're not with other people, first of all, there's a spiritual and a angle that affects other people. And certainly if we are with other people, then not only the general spiritual concept of us all being bound together, but just realistically, people see what you're doing, and people are affected whenever someone sees anyone else doing something. There's an effect, whether it's a big effect, a small effect, but there's some effect. And therefore, a person should not think that when you are doing something wrong, it's by yourself. You're not by yourself. You're really doing something wrong that's affecting everyone else as well. And we will hold it there. Have a great day, everyone.